remainder of our stroll through town was done in silence. I wasn't sure how or if I could raise my companion's spirits, but it turned out I needn't try. Dancers flinging torches, monks chanting Shinto hymns, bakers hawking dumplings. The sights and sounds and smells of Tonegasha were infectious. It was one sound in particular that drew my attention, the dejected voice of an unemployed street fighter I knew.
Ooh, what am I gonna do? Rin will Jigoko Edo me to death when she finds out!
Hatch cried, fist shaking in air. Toshi and Momoko nodded in gloom. The trio were sitting at a food stall, though none of them had ordered anything. You can start by not bastardizing the name of Sensei's technique, I spoke as I took a seat. A shriek erupted from out of my drinking companion, who, if I had to guess, didn't have money for tonight's sake.
I can explain! I was had, taken advantage of, and swindled!
Hatch pleaded as if his life depended on it. While I didn't doubt he was telling the truth about getting outsmarted, I needed more of the story than that. Toshi obliged.
Hachirobe-san has fallen victim to a forgery. In exchange for Kiso-chan, our horse, he was offered a black suit of obsidian armor said to have been used by the Emperor himself. Satsuma-sama has never adorned armor, especially not a suit covered in soy sauce.
I took a deep breath to calm my nerves. After taking in a noxious whiff of the sour smell coming from Hatch's rucksack, I spoke. Mind explaining why you felt we needed a suit of smelly armor in the first place? I would also like to know why Toshi and Momoko let Hatch handle negotiations by himself, but I'd save that discussion for a later time. What did a man who fought with his fists and wore only a karate uniform to battle want with samurai gear? Hatch's shoulders slumped.
I thought it was a good deal. I don't know. Sorry for screwing it up, Rin. I just thought it'd help.
How so? I asked, honestly curious. I wasn't going to let him avoid the question that easily. And while it took a long pause of reluctance, Hatch yielded an answer.
Well, you know.
He tilted his head towards the bloody wrappings across my stomach.
Just didn't want you getting hurt again.
I cursed at Hatch. I was upset because he was making it impossible for me to get angry with him. Other people caring about my well-being rarely ever happened. But when it did, it made me very uneasy. It was the good doctor who interrupted my inner turmoil. But Momoko's words only threw my life into greater chaos.
Rin-san, where did Masami-chan go?
She wasn't getting kidnapped or being tortured, though my mind certainly imagined it so. Toshi found her arguing with a tournament organizer. It was for that shogi game everyone in town seemed obsessed about.
Need I remind you of all the shogi prodigies at my age? That this establishment would dare prohibit a competitor based on number of years lived it's despicable.
While I was biased towards my tiny shigenja, I was sympathetic for the man just doing his job.
Look here, I don't make the rules, girl. You're too young to play.
I strutted in and pretended to be a responsible adult. Failed miserably. Hey, the hell is your problem, old man? Afraid to lose to a kid? The organizer sputtered his response behind an oversized mustache.
Why, as I've said twice before, while the tournament host is a private party, one of our sponsors is the Kisaru Corporation. As the premier retailer for tobacco pipes, having an underaged youngster involved would be poor for their image.
This was ridiculous. The horrors of Hyuga included extreme poverty, rampant disease and banditry, slave trafficking, and perversions of every kind. Yet this guy was trying to tell me that there was an age restriction for smoking?
Very well. Rin will play in my place.
Yeah!
I vocalized my gut reaction. It was all I could do to keep my stomach from belching out breakfast. I didn't know the pieces, the rules, the anything. Games that didn't end with a simple dice roll just weren't my thing. And besides, there wasn't even gambling involved. Masami piped up in a cheerful tone.
Worry not, my Ronin, for I have a plan that pairs my intellect with your,
Killer instinct? I answered with a smirk and flicked my thumb against my chin. No competitor in this stuffy game hall was as fierce as me. Yeah, how tough can it be? Though remind me why you want to do this again? Masami answered my question as she filled out the registration form.
aside from the monetary incentive, we've, wait, sign here!
She grabbed my hand and practically wrote my name down for me. I sneered at the sight of the characters on paper. It just didn't feel right. Stupid as it sounded, it felt as if a piece of myself had just left my body. The anxious Shugenja continued where she'd left off.
We've a demon to defeat, if you recall. I believe you have seen it already.
She was talking about that poet's painting. Though, in my artistic opinion, that head looked more like a samurai's. I guess there wasn't a big difference between the two. Both were a pain in my ass.
Ah, the demon of Shogi, our reclusive founder. He invites only the winners to visit him on his paradise island. Rumor has it that he has the ability to erase all memories of you from others, if you wish.
The man ruffled his mustache and gave my chest wound a lingering look.
There are some competitors who would give anything for a new beginning.
Our conversation ended on that ominous note. I wasn't sure what to think about sudden onset amnesia, nor did I have any clues about an Oni who lived inside board games. I didn't have any idea on the rules or conditions in order to win. I didn't know a whole lot of things. But I did know that it had been a long time since I'd seen the kid in such a good mood.